Well, thank you very much, Marco, for the introduction. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. I know I'm competing with food, so this is always tough, but and I'm here to talk to you about FX. FX is many times seen as this thing that you want to push away or don't look, and it's interesting times as well. So we'll be talking about this, but hopefully I'm able to be simple enough and clear enough to be enlightening you how this FX can be a competitive advantage for your business and not exactly trying to make money out of it. But let me start from the beginning. Kantox is a fintech company. Fintech means a lot of things, but especially means a new way to do business in the financial industry. And I think one of the main characteristics is that fintech is real economy centric. And this has always been one of our most important messages. We have not designed our solution looking at the FX market and trying to give it a way out for the companies, but we have always looked at the companies and tried to make it as easy as possible, as fast as possible, as cost-effective as possible for them to be managing the FX. And when looking at these customers, we have certainly seen that every day, and we have seen it yesterday and today, that you are every day more international. That every day you're looking at a broader world, or it's easier to go across borders. And it doesn't look like the world is going to list currencies. I think we could all agree on this. And that certainly can represent a big challenge. And we're looking at these challenges about how to deal with currencies on the world. There's many different approaches. There are those who say, look, I'll just use euros, dollars, and pounds, and this is it, and let the world adapt to this. And then there's others who cannot do this or are not willing to push the problem away to the customers and really need to deal with that themselves. And here is a study for Deloitte numbering the issues companies, corporates usually have when dealing with this currency. If you pick the most important one, is always the lack of visibility. And not only the lack of visibility of forecasting the rates, because if we could do so, we'd not to be here, of course. And this is not what I'm going to tell you, that we're able to read the markets and tell you where the rate is going to be best. But I think it's a very significant point that tells us, and if you read through the list, that usually finance is completely separated from the business. FX and risk is not managed according to the business. It's completely unlinked, and you have treasuries when you have an election day or a Brexit running around the company saying we should hedge, we should not hedge, and it's always these urgent meetings. We believe it shouldn't be like this. It can be done much tighter to the customers. And this world of changing, of uncertainty, is not going away. And we are more and more used to see the Marmitage, the Toblerone case, and companies really having a huge impact on their accounts, on their businesses because of FX. And again, I think today's reality is only going to bring more and more volatility, which means volatility in the results of the companies. Typically something that is not very well seen. So how do we deal with all this ecosystem to make it certain, to be able to go international, to make it certain? This is where we pick all this volatility, all this uncertainty, where we were seeing a problem, and we have successfully taken different cases in different industries, and we go and we automate the transactions. We make clear the case. This is no longer the game of fighting with your bank, calling 3 different banks and pressuring them and insulting them to get a better price. This is about getting a clear, transparent price, and especially focusing on the business, understanding what the business does, understanding what's the risk they generate, and automating these FX policies that will guarantee, that will introduce the certainty that no matter how many currencies they are dealing with, no matter how many currencies they are offering their clients or they are buying from their suppliers, that they will be able to deal with it. And this means that FX can no longer be a problem, but if you're able to collect the local currency for your customer, you sell better. You sell in this country. And I'm not talking about super weird countries. I'm talking if your e-commerce does not convert in Denmark, how can you convert if you don't sell in Danish crowns? It's as easy as this. And there's many currencies already in Europe. So if your business is able to come closer to these customers, if you're able to pay your suppliers in this local currency, you're taking a problem away from them. And this will help you to convert FX into a differentiator in your business without trying to make money out of it, just being absolutely neutral. When I was in Deloitte, very fun times, I think we were doing a lot of advising on FX and a lot of helping the companies manage FX, and you would come out with these beautiful policies. And what we were doing was the first two steps, which was defining what is the risk, what do we want to hedge, what is the strategy, defining the rules, and that we manage this exposure. But this would always end up in a stack of paper in a drawer because it was manually executed. Because the things that are painful is monitoring the market, executing these transactions, measuring these positions, and be able to tell you, from this booking that I have, if I am in the travel industry, what is the impact I had on that FX had in these bookings? And you are completely lost. If we were able to automate all of this, it would be when those policies, when these definitions that don't take so much time, would be truly effective. And that is the huge, huge difference we can create, and we try to create with three very simple things. First of all, creating price in foreign currency. How do I create my pricing? Why are you using these huge markups to say, oh, I am afraid of currency, so I'm going to put a 5% markup if I sell in foreign currency, and somehow I will survive to this? That's not the way to manage. You're creating friction to the user. You are just, and depending how you update the rates, you can find many commerce in which is 20% cheaper to buy in one currency than in the other for the same product. I personally am quite crazy about it when buying flights. If you check it just in multiple currencies, it's amazing the price difference. So if we're able to provide with a tool that doesn't update the rate every day, because this is completely arbitrary, but only depending on how it moves, this creates a huge difference. If by selling in these currencies we convert better, we understand we have more exposure. But if we have a tool to monitor this exposure and to automatically deploy this FX policy and buy automatically these hedges, this makes that you are completely FX neutral. And since we've bought the currency, why not providing the service of mass payout? And these are the solutions we bring. There are independent modules that our companies take and use. And just to finish up, Kantox is today 5.5 years ago. As we spoke about, we have transacted more than $4 billion in transactions. And it's quite nice also the growth, could have put it here. We have more than 2,000 customers. And in terms of transaction, they're as an average 100K, but we process transactions sometimes for funds. There are many VCs here. Usually your policy towards FX is zero. It's like, oh, I'll buy it when it comes. I mean, just by introducing a little bit of rigorosity, you have an investment committee that has approved an investment, it looks quite bad to pay 20 or 30 or 40K more just because the currency has moved 1%. So there are very simple things you can do to manage well the exposure, to automate it, to reduce the uncertainty that this generates in your business. And again, the one that I like the most is we can provide businesses, we can make them grow, we can really help them internationalize because they can be 100% in control of the volatility that this internationalization, I like the I-18N, which is much easier to say, brings to your business. So hopefully that was clear, and I'll leave my email in case you want to contact us later, and hopefully help your businesses be much more international. Thank you very much.